Aloha Honu! So you've made yourself some three-dimensional shapes. I'm going to show you some more things you can do with them. Here I have 3 boxes that right now look almost the same, but we're going to do 3 different things with them using shading. Shading is using our pencil to create values of dark and light, and we want to practice doing this in a way that is smooth. And so here I have my hand, and I am going to move my pencil back and forth, just using my fingers. I'm going boop, 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 boop. That's good to practice. And it's really even, and I'm letting it be nice and dark. Dark, 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 even, but I'm starting to let my pencil be even lighter on the paper. Lighter, lighter, still even, and see if I can get even lighter. How light can it be? And you are still creating shading on there. You want to practice that a little bit. Try it again. This is what we're going to need. And I'm not too worried about, for this one, the really dark areas. Sometimes I like using my pencil really dark for shading, but right now this gray I'm making really nicely. Then getting lighter, lighter, lighter. We're going to use that to make these boxes three-dimensional. So this first one, we're going to pretend that this is a box made of glass or plexiglass, and so we can see right through it, but we want to be able to tell one part of it from another. So each one of these shapes I'm going to shade, and I'm going to shade it from dark to light, but very lightly. So I'm going to start from here along this edge and go shading, shading, shading. See how I can still see through it? I started dark, just a little bit dark, and then went to the edge. And I started the same direction as that edge. Now, I'm going to do this rectangle here, and I'm going to pick an edge to start from for that one. Sometimes I change the angle of my paper rather than the angle of my hand. That just makes my life that much easier. My hand is doing the same thing it did at the last one, but I moved the paper. So now, as I fill this rectangle right here, I'm going this way. Now, I'm going to do this one and go from this back angle right here, moving forward. And even though it's all shaded in, there's a top to this. I'm going to pick an angle that hasn't been done yet. I'm going to go this way. Doesn't really matter what angle you do, as long as it's different from the last one. See how that one was going in a different direction? So it worked. Now I just have this last one. I'm going to do this one. That's already that way. So I'm going to do it this way. And those shading, the fact that you did it in different directions, creates an overlapping of the shading. And you can notice that it is a three-dimensional box. If I want to make it a little bit clearer, I might darken this one that's the bottom a little bit more. I'm going to darken this. Whoops, this one goes this way. I can see that. And then I'm going to make, I think I should have made this one darker down at this part. It's like that's where the sunlight would have trouble getting to. Oh, that would have been that way. Figured it out. Even though I had a little mistake there, technically a mistake. Just an opportunity to be creative. And I'm making sure that these are all working and playing with it to make it so that looks like a rectangle made out of glass. You can see right through it. This next one, I'm going to do something different. This is going to be an opaque one. So this one's transparent. Means we can see through it. This one is going to, both of these actually are going to be opaque. Can't see through it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to erase some lines. What I need to do before I erase is I need to figure something out. Find the two rectangles. There's this rectangle. Now imagine that this is the front of the box that's looking at you. Now find the other rectangle. Imagine that that is the front of the box that's looking at you. Do you see it? Can you get your brain to see this is the front and then that is the front? It's kind of crazy, isn't it? So we need to decide which part we're going to erase. I'm going to decide that this is the front of the box, so it's different than that one. And so that means that if this is the front of the box, I can't see through the box. So this part I can see, this stays, and this, everything that's inside that rectangle, that's the front of the box, disappears. Now, if that, say this is a cardboard box. This is a cardboard box and that is solid. Well, its bottom has to be solid too. I'm looking up at this box. It's a floating box. And that means that this also needs to go. And now I have a floating, three-dimensional, opaque box. Now we're going to make this even clearer that it is a box and that these sides are solid by using our shading. I'm going to start with the bottom and I'm going to start in the back. I'm going to go dark, dark, dark. And you know a little tool if you're worried about going outside the lines? Put your little ruler, your straight edge there along one of the lines. There we go. And then this one over here. I'm going to go dark. And I'm going to put it down here so I don't overlap. And I can also erase those little bits that are in the way if I don't want them there. So darker to lighter. Oops, I had that too close. So I'm just going to fill that in there. See? All good. But I always say a mistake is just an opportunity to be creative. Even me, even I fine-tune things and make them better as I go. I don't get everything right the first go. In fact, sometimes I make these videos a couple times before I share them. So just making those lines even clearer because I felt like it. Now we've got the front. I'm going to do the front and I'm going to do just a little bit of shading on the front because it's sort of like that's the part that's coming at us. So I bet it's the lightest. That's what I'm going to decide. So now, there we go. We've got an opaque box. Now, this last one that I have, let's try that again, but let's flip which part we erase. We made this upper rectangle the front last time. This time, we're going to make the lower rectangle the front of the box. So that means everything inside that rectangle, we're going to erase. And if we erase that part, well, that line connects up to there, so that line's got to go. And, oh, that line connects over to there, so that line's got to finish going. And so, it's the same thing as before, but I'm going to put in another step here. Because, well, okay, we've done a lot of boxes, right? What could we turn these boxes into? You know what? I'm going to put another shape on top of this. I'm going to put another rectangular prism right here. Oops, a little taller there. Cut that height there. I'm going to go back a bit like that. And this, well, you'll see what I'm going to do. This one, well, it needs some erasing as well. I'm going to make this the front again because it's sitting on top of that. And so everything inside that rectangle needs to go, even if it was a part of the bottom box, because this is a box on a box. And then those lines connect to over there. And then those connect to there. And make I'm going to invent a robot. Here we have a robot. So this is a simple way to make a cylinder. I've got circle and then the other circle. If it's opaque, can't see through, just don't draw that part of the circle and then connect them. So he's got two buttons on his front circle, that part of the circle, connect it. And then I'm going to do a big cylinder underneath. I'm going to make this cylinder, it's going to be an oval there. I want to get this right, so I'm going to draw the other oval. It's going to be all the way, whoops, that one sticks out there. So I'm going to have to do this one. I'm going to make it wide. Make that the same one there. Those are going to connect. And those are going to connect. But a lot of that's, I did it really light. You see that? Because it's not going to be something that you can see. None of that is visible. It's a cylinder that he balances and rolls on top of. So now I can use my shading to shade this in. And I bet you could come up with an even better robot. I mean, he can basically roll around and talk to people. I'm not sure what he's going to say. What do you think he should say? He can talk in a robot voice. I am your robot butler. I'm not sure what he'll be able to do though. He can't really serve you without arms. Maybe you need to add him some. But for now, I'm going to leave it at this because I'm going to do some shading. So every time I pick a side, I'm going to start at an edge. I'm going to go dark. To a light. I'm going to start at an edge. And remember, it's not the part that has that, just over here. Dark to light. This part down here. Dark to light. Little bit there. Little on the buttons. Do his head. See how I keep moving the paper so I can have the easiest time? Hey, there we go. I like that. And then Down here, cylinders, this part needs to be definitely dark underneath. And then it gets lighter because it gets closer. And then it gets darker again because it's getting farther away. And it's also underneath that box. Make that edge clearer again. And then this side here, this part's a flat circle, oval. There we go. So now you come up with something fun to make out of your three-dimensional shapes. Perhaps yours is a robot, perhaps it's a building, perhaps it's something else. But if you're not sure what to make, try some sort of interesting robot. I bet you'll draw something you've never drawn before. Have fun!